Every day in June, the most popular wedding month of the year, about 13,000 couples will say I do, committing to a lifelong relationship that will be full of friendship, joy, and love that will carry them forward to their final days on this earth. Well, except of course it doesn't work out that way for most people. The majority of marriages fail, either ending in divorce and separation or devolving into bitterness and dysfunction. Of all the people who get married, only 3 in 10 marriages remain healthy and happy, as the psychologist Tai Tashiro points out in his book, The Science of Happily Ever After. There were thousands of studies made when it comes to actually identifying the issues and the problems of why most marriages fail or most relationships fail. So one of the most influential studies that was done identified one major problem. That problem is called psychological inflexibility. Basically, what it means is that people are not adjusting to their partner needs. They are literally not flexible. So the reason why many romantic relationships fail is that one or both partners become psychologically inflexible. What it means is that these couples live on autopilot without actually identifying their partner's wants and needs. So after doing some research, there are a couple of things you can do starting today to actually improve our relationship. So here's number 1. Agree that honesty is a priority. Any relationship is built on trust. And the more honest you are and open about what you actually expect of the other person, the higher chance of actually succeeding you will have. Honesty promotes effective communication between people. When you are honest, you are actually pushing your partner to do the exact same thing in return. It is actually proving that honesty strengthens the emotional bond between you and your partner. When someone is comfortable enough to actually open up about their deep down secrets, that's quite an impressive and quite a big step forward in any relationship. Another point is talk about what you need, not about what your partner needs to do. When you are talking about what you need in a relationship, make sure you are doing it in a positive and assertive manner. Make sure you're not going after your partner, because this is one of the main reasons why people alienate against each other. By emphasizing your own needs rather than actually pointing out what your partner needs to do, it's gonna give them that much big of a push for them to grow and actually start listening to what you need, as opposed to you pinpointing every little thing like you are mothering them. We should really stop doing that. Discussing your needs rather than blaming your partner for what you guys don't do, it's much healthier approach to any relationship. So rather than saying we never go for walks, you should say, oh, I would love if we can go more for walks and if we can be more physically active. So basically, you need to express what you would like to do. And make sure they pay attention. Make sure that you have eye contact when you express your wants and needs. Not just tell them into thin air when they're busy doing something and then expect for them to actually pay attention. Communication needs to be sat down and, do you hear me? I hear you. Let's have a talk. Another thing that you should really do in a relationship is identify topics that are off limits. Not everyone is as free-spirited, I would say. Not everyone wants to hear about your previous partners, about your previous relationships, or what you did when you were 18, 19 with your friends. Certain things are better left unsaid. I am not saying that you should be lying if you are being asked straight up about a certain situation, but I think some things are better left unsaid, because some people, the majority, I would say, of people are a bit sensitive, especially people who are in a relationship and they have certain sensitivity. You really should not be discussing anything that involved you being in love with a different person, having relationships with a different person, or having an extraordinary experience without having your partner involved in that. So keep it to yourself. Your partner might get triggered by certain topics. If they do, go much deeper into the conversation and try to identify if they're willing to open up and tell you exactly what triggers them. But if they don't, it's fine to just let it be. Not everything needs to be micromanaged and not everything needs to be dissected. Another study showed that kindness is one of the major impacts on any relationship. So be mature and be kind. When I say kind, I don't mean that always give back what you receive. Being kind and understanding when and how to react to certain situation. Being kind in how to approach your partner. Being kind in how to accept your partner. So kindness was proven to be one of the major character traits that are keeping a relationship glued together. Allow for a few white lies. It never hurt anyone. You don't always need to be straight up and very honest with your partner. A couple of white lies are never gonna hurt your relationship. If anything, they're gonna make your partner feel better. So do it from time to time. I'm not saying lie straight up and be unrealistic, but a couple of things that you can make look and seem and sound better, do it. For example, if your partner picked up a hobby, you're trying to be supportive, but you understand that there might not be the best at it, a few white lies won't hurt. Yes, baby, you're gonna get better, I'm sure, with time. Yes, this painting looks amazing, even if it doesn't. It sounds more supportive, I would say. Don't make it like a big lie, but small white lies will only make you seem like you care, like you actually pay attention to what they're doing. Celebrate small victories with your partner. If you guys have been together for 3 months, for 5 months, for 8 months, it's always good to celebrate these small victories, because not every relationship that has been 10 years long is actually a healthy relationship. Sometimes an 8 months relationship, a 10 months relationship can be healthier and better and more beautiful than anything you've ever had before. So celebrate those small victories. For someone else, you might look, oh my God, they haven't gone through the hardships. Some relationships go through the hardships right at the beginning, so never judge and celebrate those small victories. Aim for progress, not perfection. Even if your partner is failing at trying to do something for you, appreciate the effort. You don't know what took them to actually do something for you and maybe change their schedule around and going that extra mile. Appreciate the effort. It's extremely important. Don't play the blame game. Don't always blame the other person for everything that goes wrong in your relationship. Usually it takes two people. It was proven that only 7% accept the blame. Usually about 40 to 50% of people blame the other person, blame the partner. No one wants to look at themselves and think, oh my God, I did this wrong or I did that wrong. I'm not saying blame yourself, but accept that each action has a reaction and your actions might have consequences. So I'm not saying that you should be blaming yourself, but you should really be accountable for what you do. After all, you are a grown-up. If you're old enough to have a relationship, you are old enough to accept your faults. Embrace the learning process. Everything that you do together, you are learning together. You are learning about each other. So don't necessarily expect to be acing in each subject as you start a new relationship or as you are in a relationship. Everything takes time and patience. And if you are actually kind and you are willing to go the long mile with the other person, then you should really take your time and not rush into anything. So going back to psychological inflexibility, really do try to be flexible when it comes to your reactions, to your actions in any kind of relationship. Because after all, in the end, it's just you and your partner against the world. And the more acceptive and flexible you're going to be with each other, the higher chance of actually this relationship surviving you have.